entitled parents. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Parents take large chunk of young soldier's wedding money, probably kill his career as well. Obligatory. I'm a fan of this sub. This happened about 15 years ago. At the time, my spouse was working at an officers club at a military installation. Nowadays most military bases have just one club, an officer and an enlisted, but this base still had two. The officers club was much nicer than the enlisted club, so it was common for military members to hold events there. My spouse was the assistant manager of the night shift as she was going to school during the day. On this particular evening there was a young active duty military wedding reception. They were both Samoan, and the groom was an enlisted serviceman. I make note of the nationality of the couple as Samoan families are very large, and special events can have hundreds in attendance. I was not there, but my spouse told me all of the event. At the entrance to the reception there was a large box with a slit in it. This was a donation box for the young couple to help them for the future. Samoans are very generous with the families, so each donation was more than $20. There was likely thousands of dollars in the box. Everyone has a great time at the reception. As the evening winds down, only the immediate family is left. The family gathers around the donation box now opened. Here's where it gets dicey. The mother and father of the bride or groom, I have no idea which one it was, reach in and grab a large chunk of the money. Apparently it's their share. I have no idea if this is common in Samoan culture, but this is what happened. After the parents got their money, they just left the club. Well, the money was needed not only for the future, but for the very immediate future. You see, it appears that the couple was relying on that money to pay for the bill. The young married couple now does the stupidest thing imaginable. They leave the club and start to head off the base. The officers club is about a 3-4 mile drive from the main gate, which allowed the acting manager sufficient time to contact security police. The front gate, only exit gate at this time, does an immediate stop and search for all outgoing vehicles and easily finds the bride and groom. They are escorted back to the club. Once at the club they have to meet with the manager. Since they were so young and low in rank, they needed what is in effect a cosigner for the event. The groom's commander, an army captain, had co-signed. The manager contacted him first to see if he could pay for the event, to which the captain replied no, he didn't have enough funds. After many hours, my wife usually got home around 11 PM. It was about 2 AM when she got home. Meeting with the manager, a payment plan was set up for the young couple. I'm not sure of the entire bill, but since this was the military, their payment was going to come direct from the paycheck until it was paid off in full. I'm sure there was extensive administrative punishment as well. Unfortunately, I have no idea. I just hope the parents had some fun with their share. Entitled parent think their child deserves everything in the airport. Sorry for the bad formatting, I'm on mobile and English is my first language, I'm just bad at spelling. This happened after years ago, so some of the details may be fuzzy. Let me set the scene. It's Auckland Airport. I'm waiting for my flight to Brisbane in a coffee shop when a mother and her crotch goblin sits next to me. Enter the cast: me, Samoan IDK, EM, entitled weirdo, EK, entitled weirdos weeb. I'm sitting down enjoying a nice iced coffee playing some random video game when EK, 9 or 10, comes behind me and politely asks me what I'm doing. I explain to him what I'm playing. EK asks if he could play and I say sure. I was in a training map so I wouldn't lose any yellow. He played for 10 minutes or so when his mom was ordering. Then EM comes back and loses it. EM, what are you doing to my child? Me, he was just playing a game. EK, he's just letting me have the game. What EK said shocked me. I merely told him that he could play, not have the game. IDK, how he could have the game? It was on Steam. Me, I didn't say you could have it. I just said you could try it. It's on my computer anyway, so you would have to take that to have it. EM, well, I guess you'll just have to give us the computer then. We continued arguing about whether she could have my computer. Then one of the servers, S, came over. S, What's the problem here? Before I could say anything, EM fired back. EM, this doesn't concern you, and for your condescending tone I demanded a refund for my food. She had already had about $50 worth of overpriced airport food. The server went over and called the manager over. When the manager came over, EM flat out only told him, "Where the hell is my refund?" The manager in the end just told her to get out. And like the pathetic wolf she was, she huffed and she puffed and continued to do that till she left. But before she left she flipped me the bird, then spilt my iced coffee. The cafe offered to replace it, but I declined. In the end I still had my laptop and got onto my flight with almost no problems. That's until I saw EM and EK in the line for my flight. Luckily, she was a whole 15 or so rows away from me, but still gave me condescending looks every time she walked past me. I replied to her with a smile. So if turned out okay, still annoying though. Edit, I was playing Brawlhalla. My mom doesn't respect my wishes when it comes to my surgery. So as a background, I'm a 27-year-old female and I'm engaged to a 26-year-old female, so an obvious adult that can make my own choices, right? Right. When I first found out that I had to get my gallbladder removed, I told my family the date just to let them know. When I told my mom, while picking her up from work, she turns around and tells her work that she needs that day off. Confused, I ask her, "Why are you calling off that day?" And she gave me a look and said, "You think I won't be there for my daughter on the day of her surgery?" And when I gave a confused look and replied with, "No, it's just gallbladder surgery, it's not that deep," she tells me to shut up and that's going. After a few days of talking to my sister, among others, about how I didn't really want people besides my fiancé there, I look up the distance between just going to the hospital and picking up my mom before going to the hospital. If my love and I just go, it takes 16 minutes to get there. If I pick up my mom, she doesn't drive. Before going, we are driving away from the hospital to get her and it will take around 36 minutes to get there. So I get the courage to tell her that we can't pick her up. And she says that she doesn't like it, but okay. My sister also tries to explain that I don't really want a lot of people there and that I just really want my love with me. When it gets closer to the date, the nurses tell me that they are strict about who gets to be with me. Absolutely no sick people, or non-blood relations, or extended family. Basically they only want close healthy family. I also explain this to my mom, who has been sick the past few weeks, off and on. And she agreed it's for my health. Day of surgery. All goes great. My love is there with me and is taking great care of me. My family friends is calling and checking on me. So that's it's right? HA. My sister texted me a day or so after surgery and told me that our mother called her, and here's the conversation that she sent me. So, mom called me yesterday when she got home. The very start of the conversation she starts talking about calling up to the hospital to see where you were at. She was going to take the bus to the hospital. However, the nurse on the phone heard mom coughing and said she wasn't allowed up there. And mom told her she was only coughing cause of her allergies. The nurse told her it didn't matter, that she couldn't go up there, and if she did she would be asked to leave. I mentioned to mom how you said you didn't want anyone up there but your love. Mom said she knows, but she's mom and she wanted to be there, and it's hard for your baby to be going through something like surgery and not be up there with them. She also said that she would have waited down in the waiting room and not go up to where you were. I told her I fully understand what it feels like to be a mom. I kind of have 3 kids. Yeah, no, but you said you didn't want anyone else up there but your love. And so she should respect your wishes, and even if she waited in the waiting room and not go to where you were, that would still be considered not respecting your wishes. Later in the conversation she backtracked and said she probably wouldn't have even went up there because she started thinking about it and stuff, and if she truly was going to go up there then she would have just went without calling the hospital first. It was just really hard for her not being there and she was really worried. She probably didn't want me telling you though. Lol, so don't say anything to her. That's a quote from my sister that she sent me. I only took out my fiance's name. Later on my sister added that the other reason my mom wanted to come up there against my wishes was because when I was talking about it I was terrified, which isn't true. I was a little nervous because it is surgery, but I was not freaking out. She just felt like her own feelings were more important and that since she was my mother she was entitled to go up there despite my wishes and the health risk, because she was my mom. And my sister was my freaking hero for pushing my side and trying to get my mom to understand that this isn't right. I think she would have went without telling my sister if the nurse didn't tell her she couldn't. So thank you, nurses. You saved my ass. This isn't uncommon for my mom to do, and I'm glad that the nurses and my sister had my back, because she clearly wasn't thinking about my health or wishes at all. And it's only been 3 days since surgery, so a lot has happened in a short time. Oh, you survived. Now sub. Please.